Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and you are welcome to the Shabbat of this morning. We have a double parasha this morning. We have Parshot Va-Yak-hel and Parshot Pekudei. But I want to say that this morning I'm going to base the teaching mainly on the Parshot Va-Yak-hel. Okay, that's why I'm going to base the teaching mainly on this morning. Va-Yak-hel meaning to gather or to assemble. That's the meaning of the word Va-Yak-hel, to gather or to assemble. And the word Pekudei meaning account, to make an account. So here, Parshot Pekudei, Moshe Rabbeinu was giving account of all the things that was spent, all the money that was spent, all the resources that was gathered and that was spent on the on the construction of the Mishkan. But as I said, this morning I'm going to base the teaching mainly on the Parshot Va-Yak-hel, and I subtitle the parasha this morning as, "But the seventh day shall be holy for you." The seventh day shall be holy unto you. That's the reason why God is saying that. The seventh day, for us, for the children of Israel, shall be holy. It shall be Shabbat, Shabbaton. It shall be holy for you. You shall not do any kinds of work. That's what the Torah is saying. No form of work might be done. It shall be holy unto you. It's a Shabbat of a complete rest for the Lord. You shall relax. You shall do what? You shall strike. That's what the Torah is saying. To strike. Relax and enjoy with who? With your family. It's a family time. Okay? So that's what the Torah is telling us. Alright. Perhaps the best known feature of Parshot Va-Yak-hel, though many may not realize that it appears in this parasha. It is the juxtaposition of the prohibition of Shabbat labor with the direction concerning the erection of the Mishkan, which is the tabernacle. Mishkan is called the tabernacle. I said is the juxtaposition of the prohibition of Shabbat, the labor with the direction concerning the erection of the Mishkan, which is the tabernacle. This juxtaposition, it is widely repeated, lies at the origin of the categories of work prohibited on Shabbat. If such labor was performed in the connection to the Mishkan, that same sort of labor is prohibited on Shabbat. What am I saying here? This is the Shabbat. And God said you shall not do this on Shabbat. This is the Mishkan. Okay? The Shabbat is mirroring the Mishkan. What the sages is telling us is that all the work that is done on the Mishkan, all the kinds of work that are done in the Mishkan cannot be done on Shabbat. Every work that is done in the Mishkan, that work cannot be done on Shabbat. So it's a Shabbat of complete rest. If God himself said in the Mishkan you shall not do this and this and this and this, how much more we on the Shabbat we have to rest. We have to do what? Obey as the Lord our God has commanded. To be sure, if you compare the Mishkan's list of category of prohibited Shabbat labor with the direction articulated in this parasha, you will have a very difficult time finding such a correspondence. But the rabbis saw what we may not. Some will claim, right? So we may rest assured that the system is a coherent one. What I'm saying here is that in the parasha of this morning, right? God said you shall not make fire. But our rabbis of blessed memory, our rabbis, the rabbis of the Mishnah or of the Mishnah. Mishnah is the first part of Talmud. The first part of Talmud is called Mishnah. So the rabbis of the Mishnah say, voila. Okay. God said we should not make fire. We should not do this and this and this. So the rabbi of the Mishkan categorized what is called 39 kinds of work, 39 kinds of labor that cannot be done on Shabbat. But if we read the Torah does not give us 39 kinds of labor. We can read it again. Here it's just very simple. what the Torah said. Here it is. He said, the book of Exodus, Shemot, chapter 35, from verse 2. On sixth day, work may be done, but the seventh day shall be holy for you, a day of complete rest for Adonai. Whoever does work on it shall be put to death. You shall not kindle fire in any of your dwelling on the Shabbat day. That was it. That is it. The other one, there's nothing like that. But our rabbis, our wise men, they gave us 39 kinds of labors that we cannot do. So why do they give us these 39 kinds of labors? They said that all those 39 kinds of labor mirror all the work that is done in the Mishkan. So therefore, you cannot do such a work on Shabbat. But the Torah is very simple. No fire can be kindled in your what? In your dwelling. It even came to the extent that they tell you that no. You cannot drive a car on Shabbat. Because a car, when you put your key and you start it, is fire. Okay. But the Torah said, you shall give your what? Your animal rest on Shabbat. You shall give your slaves rest on Shabbat. Everything has to do what? Has to rest on Shabbat. But we have some of our people, right? They say, oh, on Shabbat, I cannot put on a light, right? They say, oh, I have a goyim. You know, I have someone who's an unbeliever, a Gentile. I have a Gentile. Oh, Gentile, come and put on the light because you are not a child of God. Where is the sense? Hypocrite. So, that your slave doesn't have Shabbat. That your slave cannot have the rest. So that your slave has to work all the days of his or her life. Is that what the Torah said? The Torah said you shall give your slave rest. You shall give the animal rest. Everything has to rest. A car is not an animal. So you see, this is the problem that we always see when we go to the extreme. I understand our rabbis. Don't get me wrong. I understand where they're coming from. I understand them. They want to build zayag around the world, around the Torah. Zayag meaning a fence. They want to build a fence around the Torah in case we are stubborn. Because they know that, well, we are stubborn, yes. In case we break one fence, there will be another one surrounding it. In case we break the second one, there will be another one. In case we break the third one, that's another one. So the issue is, how many fences are you going to build? You are going to build uncountable fences. That is not right. Let's follow the Torah. The Torah is simple. When we make the Torah cumbersome, the meaning of cumbersome meaning heavy, then the people, they will run away. Because it's too heavy to carry. You see, the Torah, but that is not what God is saying. The Torah is simple. Yes, the Torah is a yoke. Yeshua himself even said that, bring all your heavy load. I will take it away from you, and I will give you a smaller load. There is nowhere that Yeshua never said, I'm going to take your load and make you free. As some people say, it's freedom. I'm free. Hallelujah. Somebody come and die for me and do what? And so what? My sins is forgiven. You are deceiving yourself. You are absolutely deceiving yourself. Yeshua said, I will give you a lighter load. It didn't say, I'm going to let you go free and there is no load. No. Torah is a yoke. Yes, we understand that. It is a load. But we don't have to make it even more cumbersome. That's what God is saying. No. Why is it? It's a load? Because it differentiates you from the rest of the people. Torah differentiates the Hebrew people from the rest of the world. As we said last week, remember, yesterday when we were having on next Shabbat, Albert brought a question. He said, what is the meaning of the face of God and the back of God? We explained that last week. Please, Rabbi, can you explain more? And I said, what our Rabbi talks about the back of God. God is not a physical human being. God does not have flesh and blood like us, or that he doesn't have a back like this. No. God is an energy. God is a spirit. He doesn't have a physical flesh. But the rabbi said, when God said, okay, you are not going to see my face, meaning that God, that Moshe cannot see the essence of God because it is too awesome to be seen. You will go cuckoo. You can't even understand it because God is too vast. You can't, with our mental mind, we cannot understand it. But you are going to see my back, meaning that I will allow you to see my actions. And what are the actions? Our rabbi divided it into what? Into 13. You shall be merciful. You, the most gracious. You, the most compassionate. God that forgive iniquity. God that remember sin for third to fourth generation for those who does not repent, and those what forgive for thousands and thousands of generations. So God, that is the actions of God, and God is telling us, these are my backs, these are my actions. That when you see all these things, you can recognize this is me. And God is saying, you as a child of God, me as a child of God, we as the student of the Torah has to do the same thing for us to be the direct image of God, to be compassionate, to be merciful, to be gracious. Actually, the story is considerably more complex than just suggested. The Torah, you may well know, does not elaborate on what it is meant when it prohibits melaka, which means work or labor, on Shabbat. Nor may such an elaboration be found elsewhere in the Tanakh. The first complete listing of labor prohibited on Shabbat is found in the Mishnah, Shabbat 7:2. And though some of these categories are in evidence in earlier documents like in the Tanakh and the Dead Sea Scroll, the Mishnah systematic representation is apparently original to the rabbis. Which, what I'm saying is that it is the rabbis that categorize all those labels, right? They say, okay, and here are they. Let me tell us now. The Mishnah elaborates those who perform the primary category of labors prohibited. This is Mishnah Shabbat 7:2. This is Talmud. I'm reading from the Talmud now. Which number is 40 less 1? 40 less 1. What is that? 39. I mean, 1 from 40 gives us 39. Alright. They are grouped in accordance with their functions. One who sow and one who plow. You cannot do that on Shabbat. You cannot sow a seed. You cannot go to farm. You cannot sow and you cannot plow. Plow means to plow, to treat the earth. You know, when you make like you are making, what is a plow? When you are making like a plow, you have your animal or your cow or your horse at the back. You put something on the ground and the animal goes out and it's plowed. That's what they call to plow. A plow. So you cannot do that on Shabbat. He said, and one who reap and one who gather. You cannot reap. You cannot go and gather fruit on Shabbat. You cannot plant on Shabbat. No. And continue. He said, one who threshes. Threshes meaning, in those days to make wine. What they do? They take all the grape, they put them in like a big pot and they mash. That is threshing. Because you can't do that on Shabbat. Because on Shabbat, we use wine on Shabbat, so you cannot do that. So they continue. They said, it's a lot of them. Just, okay, let me go again. Removing the kernel from the hump, and one who shed into a pile. There's a lot of them, like 39 of them. That is to, palm. This is mainly in the Middle East. I don't know if they have it in South America. There's a kernel, a palm. A palm tree? A palm tree has palm kernel. The fruit on top is red. It's red like this. So those fruit, you need to shred them to take the oil. To take the oil out of it. On Shabbat, you cannot do that because they use the oil for illumination. All those things. So they list all these things, which I'm going to show us later when we do the study downstairs. So you cannot do all these things on Shabbat. But in the Torah, we don't have it. Torah says, do not kindle fire. Simple. But our rabbi categorized all these things. Now, which they said is a kind of coherent. Is a coherent, meaning a sense of control, to control the people, because the people are stubborn, and the people need to be directed like zombies. The people cannot think on their own. That is what they are saying. They might have a point there. I understand them, because yes, our people are stubborn, but the people definitely are not zombies. That I know. The Hebrew people are not zombies. Yes, we are stubborn. We can do all kinds of bad things, or kind of good things too. But we are not zombies. That I know. Because we, the Hebrew people, even argue with God. God, tell us, why must we do this? And God will say, okay, as my children, I want you to do this because of this. If people are zombies, they won't be questioning. Because they are not zombies, that's why they question. So definitely, they are not zombies. So, we may thus read this Mishnah as a sort of rabbinic commentary on the Torah, on the time of Melachah. That means that the Mishnah, that means in Talmud, this Mishnah that is written is a kind of commentary by the rabbis. So they comment on what, they expand on what God is saying. But they add their own. They add all kinds of things. And when you are adding all these things, you are making a thing that is what? 1 kilogram, for example. You are making it 39 kilo. Who can carry 39 kilo? It's hard. It's just 1 kilogram. God gave us 1 kilogram. Easy for the man to carry. And man said, no. 1 kilogram is too small. I'm going to add 38 more. And make it 39. And then everybody's like this, hunchback. Then everybody's looking like, everybody's not happy. Everybody's looking dull. When God does not want us to look like that. God wants us to always be happy. Smile. Show goodness. Show mercy. Show compassion. Right? So, the problem is the Mishnah merely offers us a list of categories of prohibited labor without any rules or general principle to explain what is prohibited and what is not. In other words, the rabbi of the Mishnah do not comment on their own commentary, and it is therefore left for the later generations, including our own, to do what? To make sense of this Mishnah system. Is the Mishnah list truly derived from the work of the Mishkan, or does the Shabbat, as symbolized by its prohibited labor, perhaps articulate some other principle or set of value? The question is, how do the rabbis themselves understand the origin of the 39 categories of labor that the Mishnah lists? The Talmud Yerushalayim Shabbat 7:2 states, it suggests 3 possible sources of their understanding. Okay, the issue now is, where does our rabbis get this understanding from? How do they categorize 39 kinds of labor that we cannot do? Where is this coming from? Because definitely it's not in the Torah. Where are all these things coming from? This is how they arrive at their understanding. Number 1, the number of times the word Melachah appear in the Torah. I mean, the number of times the word work or labor appear in the Torah. Number 2, the number of times the word avodah or Melachah appear in connection to the Mishkan. When they're building in the construction of the Mishkan. Number 3, the gematria. I mean, countings of numbers or the value of a letter relating to the word these, because the Torah says this shall not be done. That means a work, this particular kind of a work shall not be done. We can see that in Exodus, in Shemot chapter 35, in this parasha that we are reading. As for me, my question now is, what is the meaning of all this? Remember, the prohibited labor articulates the practice in practice, a rabbinical interpretation of the message of the Shabbat. Remember, the 39 works that they say that we should not be doing on Shabbat is the way the rabbi interpreted what they are seeing in the Torah. That is their own interpretation. Okay? As we have now understood, Shabbat is meant to be a time when basic human labor are unnecessary, from my own understanding. The Shabbat is a time when a human labor is unnecessary, where we don't have to do anything, where we have to just relax and see, because all things has been provided for. Why is everything provided for? Because before the Shabbat, right, you prepare your food that you're going to eat on Shabbat, right? You prepare your drink, you prepare everything is done. And this is a mirror image of the Garden of Eden. Our God is telling us. Because in the Garden of Eden, everything is prepared, everything is ready, everything is done for who? For Adam Avinu. Everything is done. Adam doesn't have to worry to say, I'm going to cook, everything is done for him free of charge. The job of Adam was to do what? To supervise. That is his job. He just supervised everything that God has created. Everything is done for him free of charge. And that is what God is talking about Shabbat. Shabbat is a mirror image of the Garden of Eden. You don't have to do anything. You just have to relax. But God will take control. God will provide all your need according to his riches in glory. I was saying yesterday at Erev Shabbat. Remember, that was a saying that Yeshua was saying. He said, look at these birds. They don't sow. They don't plant. They don't reap. They don't do nothing. But God take care of them. God feed them. Right? All the animals. Do they see? Have you ever seen where a monkey plants? I don't know, maybe in your country monkey plant. I don't know. But in my own country, monkey does not plant. I don't know, maybe in your own country, the cow go to the farm and plant, and but in my own country, a cow does not plant, but they eat. For God take care of them. And Yeshua is saying, if God can take care of all these animals, how much more you, the sons and the daughters of God? Don't worry. Do not worry of what tomorrow will bring. God will take care of you. What you have to do, you see, everything is in the mind. The power of, you can't even imagine the power of our mind. If we say, God, I believe and I trust in you that you are able to provide for me, he will provide. But if you say, okay, no, on Shabbat I need to go and do this, I need to go and do for work, and okay, that is your own cup of tea. You have the right to choose whatever you want to choose. But God said, I advise you to do what? To choose life. And God, you shall not do any work on Shabbat. Come, it's a family time. It's a time of enjoyment. It's a time to forget about everything of the world. Concentrate yourself to the things of the Spirit. It's a time to bring the physical. To bring a physical come to the temple, and God will lift the physical into metaphysical. We are the physical, right? And God will lift us up into the metaphysical, into the heavens. He will lift us up on his hand. He will give us everything that we need. You don't need to worry. Do not worry. He is there taking control of your life. So, what I'm saying now is, Shabbat is meant to be a time when basic human labor are unnecessary. It is a time when all needs are already provided for. Hence, the requirements are prepared for all of your food before the Shabbat. It is, in other words, a reenactment of the human experience in the Garden of Eden, when the Holy One, blessed be He, provided for all our needs, and we could have to live a complete harmony with the world and brotherliness with each other. That is what the Shabbat is. Shabbat is all about the brotherliness. Shabbat is all about the sisterhood, the brotherhood. Comes together to do what? To express, oh, how you doing? Okay, we express the love. We share love. On what? On Shabbat. That is all what Shabbat is. Shabbat is a time of what? Complete enjoyment. That is it. It's not the time for you to start worrying about tomorrow. Do not worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. That what is a strong faith that you have to understand. Because many people, they are stressed up about tomorrow. And when you stress up, they call it, in science, the highest killer in North America is what? Is stress. You know, you see, a killer, is the highest killer is a disease, is coronavirus. Forget about that. It's not coronavirus, it's not any. The highest killer is, they call it silent killer. That is stress. It kills you silently. You don't know. You go, then you have hypertension. You have a stroke. It's destroying your kidney. It's destroying. You don't know. Don't stress. That you see. Do not stress. Don't stress yourself. Relax. The what? The chef, right, is driving, and you, as the passenger, is to do what? Cross your leg, relax. That is it. Why do you disturb yourself? God is the chef. He's driving. Why? Give him complete control. Don't say, no, relax. You can't control the creator of the ends of the multiverse. He knows all the road. You just relax. If you have a newspaper, take it and read. Calm, and you will arrive at your destination in peace. But if you want to stress up, it's a cup of tea. Me, I don't stress. Relax. It's in control. Alternatively, it is a reenactment of the Exodus from Egypt, when God provided all our needs. According to this interpretation, Shabbat is a guardian in time, or a contemporary Exodus liberation, when struggling for basic needs ceases, along with the worries and heartbreak such struggling may often cause. And that is what I just explained now. You know, when we worry too much, then we have heartbreak, hypertension, stroke, we have diseases. You know, when you worry too much, relax, don't worry, he's in control. So Shabbat, to me, is another interpretation that I interpreted it, is what is the Exodus from Israel, when God led our people, our forefathers, out of the land. We do not worry. You know, God, I just read it. God said, on the 14th of this month, you shall take the what? The kid, or the lamb. You shall kill it and put the blood on your what? On your tooth. Don't worry yourself. Eat and rejoice. Just continue to eat. Relax. Why you in a haste? Relax. Put your guard, and as soon as the destroyer comes, the Egyptian will kick you out. They don't want to kick you out. They don't want to let you leave. Don't worry. They will leave. They will allow you to. They will kick you out of their land. And when you go, you shall go with your hand head up. You shall not go with your head down. No. You shall go all out of Egypt with your head. You shall be erect before the Lord your God. You shall live with all the blessings that I have blessed you with. Israel looted Israel. Israel looted the entire thing in Egypt. All the gold, all the silver, all the diamond, everything. So go and ask them. Whatsoever you ask them, they shall give unto you. They will never say no. Everything was, we sweep all Egypt completely. Put it in our pocket and we left. That is God. So why do you worry yourself? He knows the best ram. He knows the best goat. He knows the best fat. He said, David said something. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. You see, we sing it every day. Because God is a good shepherd. He knows where the green grass, the best grass. He will lead you down there. Why do you worry yourself? You are the sheep. God is the shepherd. We are the sheep. The Holy One of Israel, blessed be He, is the shepherd. And He is the best shepherd ever, ever, ever. So He will lead us to the best place. So do not worry. Just follow His word, His way. But this is the only one. This is the only one interpretation of all interpretation. There are all kinds of interpretation outside there. I'm just giving my own interpretation. Okay. It is also true that there are interpretations that sees the prohibited labor of Shabbat as those that were necessary for the work of the Mishkan. We must therefore interpret Shabbat according to this system as well too. Shabbat is a time when the work of the Mishkan is unnecessary. Of course, it's a time where the work of the Mishkan is unnecessary. Don't do that. Relax. Enjoy yourself. The structure is built. The altar is ready. The incense is prepared. we are perfectly ready for this particular day to serve God perfectly. We bring the physical to the metaphysical. According to the interpretation, or according to this interpretation, Shabbat is a Mishkan in time, a day on which we are all priests in God's service. On that day, all of us are priests. Remember, God said, all Israel are what? Are priests. All of us are priests. All of us, individually and collectively. On the Shabbat, we are all priests, praising God. Not only me, all of us are all priests, glorifying the name of the living God. Mishkan is a picture of Eden. Remember, Mishkan is a picture of the Garden of Eden. God is bringing our memory back. Say, look at this Mishkan. Look at it. In the Garden of Eden, we have what? We have the tree of life. In the Garden of Eden, we have the two cherubims standing. And God is repeating the same thing in the Mishkan. In the Mishkan, we have the two cherubims. In the Mishkan, we have the Torah, which is the tree of life, that the word, that the angels are guiding. See, this is the picture, the perfect picture of the Garden of Eden. Where the tree of life is, where the tree of life is found. Torah is the tree of life. If you take hold of it, you take hold of life. A garden in time, that is what the Shabbat is. An exodus of liberation in time, when you liberate yourself from yourself. Because the greatest liberation is for man to liberate himself from himself. It's very hard. We think it's easy. No. For you to forgive yourself is the hardest thing. You can easily forgive others. Oh, I forgive you. But can you forgive yourself? You begin to flog yourself for eternity. Why are you doing that? God has forgiven you. Rejoice. Be happy. Why do you still flog yourself? To liberate ourselves from ourselves. To liberate us from the things of the world. To liberate us from the material things. To liberate us from things that does not gain. Right? Things that does not gain. The Mishkan is the time that you can pick anything, or you can pick all of them. We need them all desperately, or elaborate your own interpretation founded on your own juxtaposition. You can interpret your Shabbat the way that you want by yourself. He said every Hebrew word has 70 kinds of interpretation, 70 different ways you can interpret it the way that you think fits for you. But remember, you shall not do any work. That is the basic, that is the fundamental. My own personal interpretation of the Shabbat is this. Shabbat is a time of complete rest to the Lord. A time to serve and not to be served. It's a time that you serve, not people serving you. It's a time that I serve. It's a time that I give my life. It's a time that I give my service to my community. A time of brotherhood. A time of sisterhood. A time of relationship, not religion. Remember that. It's a time of relationship where we have relationship. Where we have relationship with our God and we have relationship with one another. Not a time of religion. Not a time that you come, no, that is not it. It doesn't make sense. If you come to the Shabbat and you go the same, what did you gain? No gain. You should better go to sit in your house and play video games. You come to have experience with the Holy One, blessed be He. You come to have a new understanding of the Torah so that you might live according to what God is teaching us. Shabbat is a time to share in every blessing that the Lord God has blessed us with. It's a time of love. It's a time of joy. It's a time to take, as it is said, take from yourself a portion for Adonai. Everyone whose heart motivates him shall bring it as a gift to Adonai. That's the time of the Shabbat. It's a time that your heart motivates you. Not you have to do. No, nobody have to. It's not by force. No. God does not force you. God does not force me to serve Him. No. It's a choice. I always tell everybody, God will never force anybody to serve Him. You decide. I want to serve God. I don't want to serve God. I don't want to serve God. It's your choice. But remember, on the last day, you will be weighed. And those in the Messianic writing, right? We had today that there are all kinds of things. Gold, silver, and everything will be tried by fire. And the one that is born shall face the consequence. So this is what God is telling us. It's the same thing that the Torah is saying. That God does not force anyone to serve Him. It is a choice. If you decide, you knowingly decide that I want to follow God. And once you decide to follow God, to do what is right, what is just, to follow the Torah and to take hold of the tree of life, then let's do it properly. Let's do it the right way. One leg cannot be here and another leg here. No, you have to stand in one place. You can't serve two masters. You can only serve one master. And the time of the time of the Shabbat is the time for us to give unto God ourselves, our being, our soul. Give unto God. Don't worry. He will surely take care of you. Parshot Va-Yak-hel Pekudei. But the 7th day shall be holy unto you. The 7th day shall be holy unto me, unto you, unto us. On that day we shall not do any work. We shall come to rejoice, dance, bless the Lord, give to the Lord, to ourselves, serve ourselves, serve the community. And on the 7th day we shall glorify His name. For the Lord, He is what? It's not that people say, and the Lord is one, You say the Lord is Ehad. I keep telling us that, and Ehad, the deep meaning doesn't mean one. The spiritual meaning of the word Ehad, meaning indivisible. God cannot be divided. One can be divided into half. Half can be divided into 1/4. 1/4 can be divided into 1/8. 1/8 can be divided into 1/16. 1/16 can be divided into 1/32, and so forth. But God cannot be divided. God is indivisible. That is Ehad. Shabbat Shalom.